Also, too, I was going to ask you, what's the style format, like the questions and stuff like that? Are you
I wanted to do it in a interview setting, so like we'll have him basically talking, and like we'll ask him some questions. Like the last time when we were having our conversation, a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
that popped up, like see what his take is on it and stuff like that, and kind of get back some of the interview and everything that we had too, plus incorporate some of the stuff he's found.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're gonna kind of let him just start off with his knowledge of the situation, but
Yeah.
you have questions prepared. Okie dokie. Like you did with Pecos. I got you. Cool.
Now,
And
he
that's good. Go
it's
ahead.
actually going to be kind of interesting because he got really curious about it and started doing some digging. And
Oh, so he learned about it as you told him about it.
yeah, he started actually researching it. He's going to come out with a podcast where he's going to talk about the history of video games with amusement parks from the beginning all the way up until now. So it's going to be pretty cool.
I'll be right back again.
All right. Okay.
And then he's coming on Jitsi, or is he going to be on Discord?
He's going to be on Jitsi.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's what you're saying. He has to get that set up because he probably like when I first got on Jitsi, I didn't have an account. So
Well, with this, all he's got to do is click on the link. So he
oh,
he's a podcaster. So he don't get me wrong, he does video and everything, but as
he's
far
not used to it.
he if he did like podcasters don't technically have to
Show themselves.
show
Yeah,
themselves.
that's the best part about podcasting. I don't like to be on camera. I don't because people like even with like just with everything with AI and just everything else in the world. Like the more they know, I mean the more that can be done. I mean the less you know the better. Like people want to be so famous and have all this attention on them. It's just like I don't mind people knowing about what my message is. That's more so it. But having the face to go with it. Like the point is not what I look like. The point is definitely what I'm saying and what I'm encouraging you to do. Like, please be a better person. I just need
Yeah,
that. Because people get that all. No, you have to look like this to teach people to be a better person. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't. I didn't
that's
know.
that's something I'm actually wanting to get more into, and maybe like the tech talk, stuff about AI and like there's lawsuits right now going on. Well, I mentioned it actually in the last video game stream about
The company who's attempting to sue for the rights for the likelinesses and not only
yeah.
like more wages. Yeah, I remember that.
Remember Franny? Oh, Fran.
Yeah, Fran Drescher. Yeah.
You literally had a
I
heart
couldn't
attack.
believe it. Like I was like, you're joking. You're like, no, seriously. I'm like, what? The
Yeah.
nanny? That's so funny.
I could not believe it myself when I read it. I was like, oh my god. Can you imagine being the people in the freaking negotiations having to put up with that voice?
Shut up. No.
No,
She
I'm
talks
dead
like that in real life.
serious.
I did. Yeah, yeah, she does though. Yeah, that is her.
Just picture it in your head.
Just I like her though, but it's so funny because you're like, yeah, Anna. Yeah.
I'm
Oh
like,
my
oh
goodness.
hell
Now let
no,
me stop
dude.
because I like her. But yeah, no, totally get what you're saying. It's so
I
funny.
guarantee if she heard this comment, she'd be laughing her ass off, dude. That's
Oh my
how.
good, right? Yeah.
Because she knows it's true. She's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
driving those
she's
guys
dead.
fucking crazy.
Just like that too. Oh man, she's cool though. She's so dope. I wish you could get her on here. Like that would be it. That's in the coming months. We'll say months because definitely
Once we
before.
get famous.
Well, yeah, halfway there, right? I like to.
Once we get famous and we have cool people.
Credibility, yeah. People consistently they'll be like, "Oh wow, yeah, we gotta go in there." She'll be on the Saturday show talking about all the big changes she's making. Yeah, gotta be lit.
The only thing is, though, like, I tried that on Facebook years ago about trying to get into, like, entertainment and stuff, and there's so much stuff on there. It's really, really bad competition, and, like, if you're a small creator trying to do stuff like that, you're not going to get very many hits, because I mean, you got
You have
frick.
to stand out. It doesn't. I feel like it doesn't really matter what level, quote unquote, you're on. If you do something that attracts the right person, especially like if you're original, like right now, all of those people on, I'll say TV or whatever, they're so the same. Like it's nothing different. It's like it's just you could just put your hand in the pot and just like, oh, just grab one, and you're gonna get the same outcome. So for me, I like to see something different. I don't really see that too much. I see it's a lot of competition to pretend to be different or do the same thing differently, but no one's attempting to do something completely different. I don't want to say no one because that's not true,
Well,
but like,
celebrities are on uh, social media now making bucks off that stuff, right? Like
yeah,
they're actually doing it off screen. They're getting on YouTube and Instagram and I mean even Twitter. You know what I mean? And it's all about the entertainment world and stuff like that. Like, and that's what I'm saying when it comes to competition. You can't freaking compete with an actress or an actor who's, getting on freaking Instagram and telling everybody the stuff that's going on in entertainment. And it's like, because it's kind of like an insider thing. More people are going to watch them than they are a small creator.
yeah. But and that's the crazy part is because like celebrities, they kind of take the like I don't want to say the ability for people to become bigger in different realms, but it's like when they start crossing into realms that are less touched or whatever like that, it makes
Uh-huh.
it hard for, like you said, the little people to even excel. I feel like if, and not to say that, oh, if you're a celebrity, you shouldn't venture into other statuses, but or other arenas, but that's not that. What I feel like is if you're a celebrity, you should be more inclined to allow other people, like to help other people, like especially if you're in the podcasting, and then meet somebody that's already like in the podcasting, and y'all link up. And then like do it together, and then you can pull somebody up with you, as opposed to everyone's gonna watch me because I'm freaking. I don't know. I was gonna say Jeffrey Dahmer, but I don't know why. The
It
first
just stuck in your
thought
head.
in my head, like, what am I on today? I have no clue why he was. What? I feel so ashamed and so embarrassed. Like
I feel
Jeffrey.
like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah! Like of every celebrity you could think of, that's what you think of. Carm. Okay, you really got to do something. Maybe I need to drink some more water today because I don't know. That was wild, but that was so
People make
wild.
you think you feel like Jeffrey Dahmer, or like that guy off of
That's
Silence of the Lamb.
hilarious. Yes,
Yeah,
Hannibal Lecter. Don't tell
Hannibal
anyone.
Lecter.
Cannot tell people. No, but for real, no,
How
seriously.
did how did you then?
No, Hello, Clarice. Oh my
Hello,
gosh,
Clarice.
I listen. My mom got me hooked on Silence of the Land when I was a kid. And then ever since then, stuff like that. Just because how does your mind work that you sit there and you cut up someone's brain in front of them, make them watch it, fry that in a pan and eat it like it's just a delight just to sit there. Like, what are you thinking about? I was like, I want to cut open your brain, but not necessarily cut it open. Definitely figure out what's going on in there. It's wild. It's wild to me. Like, yeah, I don't know. Mm-mm.
Now Zach
That's,
said he's gonna be another 10 minutes. Dinner's taking a little bit longer than expected. Like right,
oh, okay. Well,
right
no,
now it's like 7 o'clock for him, so
at
he's
least he's coming.
yeah.
And then it's not really our show, so like we don't have a lot of people that come, um, like knowing that it's early. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like yesterday, you started it early, and we were here for a while ourselves. So it's like cool because you did it early for you to be. You're gonna stream it at 5, right?
right.
Yeah,
This is gonna be pre-recorded, and then we're gonna stream it at 5 o'clock. So
it'll be cool then.
now, besides having our minds on the thing, the minds chat or Jitsi with minds on there, I'm also doing Zach's Discord server too. And I'll let people on there know if they have questions they can ask on his Discord channel, and I'll mention it to Zach so that he can answer it, or if Zach sees it, he can answer it too.
So wait, you're live on Discord too?
I'm live on Jitsi, and if anybody wants to join, they can join on Discord, and they can join on Minds.
So in Discord, is it video?
Discord is Discord is like
I have Discord. I mean, I know like my old
oh
my.
no, it's not video.
Oh, okay. Just my trading class. He used to do video in there, and then he can do audio. So are you just doing audio, or are you just y'all are in the chat room and
He's
you're saying?
um my OBS. I've got both the Minds chat
Oh,
that we have, and then I also have another window capture set up for his Discord showing his chat. So like when the stream plays, it's gonna show a background with the Minds chat, 24/7 stream, and then it'll show Zach's stream as well.
oh, I see what you're saying now. So that way his community can kind of join the party as well, and as well it kind of integrates the two because if they're unfamiliar with minds, then they can become familiar. So that's smart, really good. That's networking. Nice.
I think it'd be a good idea to kind of do both directions with it. I'd like to get people more interested in Gilded too, because
I never heard of that.
it's kind of like Discord, but it's better. Um, like
Gilded.
yeah,
Okay. And then listen, you said Friday you're doing an interview.
uh,
Oh,
it's gonna be Friday. It's gonna be with Bashy. Oh, there he is. Hey Disney,
I.
Disney
Hey,
Magic Zach.
how's it going?
All right, so we finally got you here. So
Yeah,
was you?
sorry. Long.
Oh, sorry about that. Was you able to get your camera and everything set up?
My phone's currently on charge, so no.
It's perfectly fine. We can get you set up. I set it up to where both you have both your Discord channel,
Yeah,
and I have my mine's chat showing on the video with a background for
cool,
the
cool, cool.
for the video and everything, and audio is perfectly fine
Nice.
because we're well, you know how it rolls in the podcast
Yeah.
community. And I told you
Mm-hmm,
already,
hmm.
I'd prefer listening to audio anyhow.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, it makes it a bit easier sometimes, doesn't it?
yeah. Now, I've already told everybody on minds.com to be nice to you. Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. I've told them to be nice Zach's probably the nicest guy I've ever met on the internet, so don't ruin him.
You know what, Roger? I'm already ruined. It's just a facade, this.
Yeah, I know. You're the only guy I know who twerks on video.
100%, baby. Let's go.
It's an old joke.
What?
Zach, this is Karma Love. Karma, this is
Hi.
Zach.
Hey, how you doing? Doing okay?
Yes, thank you. You as well?
Yeah, good, thank you.
What happened was a long time ago. He was messing around, having fun on his videos, and he started twerking. And I just, from that day on, I've been picking on him because he freaking did that. So
Now that is wild. Was not
Hey.
expecting to hear that one.
Gotta keep the people entertained, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Whatever it takes by any means. Damn. Yes. Yes.
I'm all for a good time, Cam. I'm all for a good time.
Mm.
now have you? Okay, first of all, I want to ask you: Are you? Would you want to do interview style where people ask you the questions first while you're talking? Or would you like to kind of give the information out and then have a questions and answers afterward?
I mean, I'm all down for an interview. I feel like that.
That would be fine. Are you there?
Hello? Oh, he said his phone was dying.
He's still on.
Oh, there he is.
He's still on. Give him a second. Sometimes.
This signal is really weird sometimes, you know, for me too. Remember the other day? We're not going to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, it was bad. Yeah. All he's got to see if he clicks on the.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm.
We can
There
hear
we
you.
Super. I unplugged my microphone by mistake.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If anything happens, just hit on the link right there, and it'll bring you right back in.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. I should be all right. I was just the weirdest. I was like moving my leg to get comfier, and it's just decided to unplug everything, so it's all good.
No, it's horrible. Now, we can do the interview thing then. I've got
Yeah.
stuff from the article that I sent you, and
Oh yeah, nice.
I've got notes set up for that. And then I've got two questions, or not really questions, they're comments from two people online and stuff. And we can go through that.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, before we get started, I already hit record. And if you want to, kind of give us a background about yourself, and we can introduce yourself. And
Yeah, of course, yeah. Sounds good.
Tell everybody what you want.
Okay. So, hi everyone, my name is Zack. I go by Disney Magic Zack online. I have a Disney-themed channel and podcast where we do like history. I talk with guests and things like that. About all things Disney. Disney's a big passion of mine. It has been since I was little, and it's only grown bigger. So I like to incorporate it with all type of like aspects of other communities that I'm part of as well. And one in particular that we're going to be talking about here is gaming in theme parks and in general as well of Disney and all that kind of stuff. So I've touched on this a little bit with a guest on mine on the podcast a while ago, and I do have a video coming out very, very soon talking about the history of it within the theme parks and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me here, guys. Very, very happy to be here. Yeah, I'm excited. So let's get going.
All right. Like you said, I know that you have an interest in Walt Disney World, but I also want to point out the fact that you're obsessed with golf too. Okay.
Yes, yeah. I'm a bit of a golfer. I'm not any good, but hey, I enjoy it, so that's all that matters.
I just need to make sure that everybody understands that you are obsessed with golf. Okay. Because that's like the first thing that caught my attention is when you put that video out that of you in the backyard, and it was like in the middle of December.
Oh yeah, that was the good old training regime for me to try and attempt to get the ball in the hole.
But it was in the middle of winter. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I remember you were out there and you were cold, man. What was it? It was the 9-iron, wasn't it? You were trying to get it through the weeds and stuff.
Oh yeah. A bit of, bit of practice in the rough. Yeah.
That was
honestly, that's not the worst I've played golf in though. To be fair, I've actually played golf in like a snowstorm, which was insane. Like it was like honestly the worst decision I made. Honestly, but I played a solid round, so it was all right. It was all good.
Okay. So with all that out of the way, let me ask you about Minion Land. What do you know anything about Minion Land at Universal Studios Orlando?
I know that it's recently opened. So some of the vloggers that I watch are mainly Orlando based. They're not just specifically for Disney. So you know they travel to Universal as well. So I know of Minion Land. I know it's a recently opened area. It's expanded on the Minion Mayhem kind of like attraction that is nearby it. If we are talking about gaming and things like that, then I assume we're going to be talking about the Villain Con ride that opened along with like the land.
Exactly.
I mean, it looks like an interesting concept for a ride. It looks very, very cool. I mean, from what I've seen, there's a couple of flaws with it before opening day and things like that. That's to be expected, that, you know, getting rid of all the little bugs and things like that. But overall, it looks like a very good ride. From what I can tell about it, it's a standing like omni mover. So you're stood on like a walking escalator type thing. So you're walking across that. That's pushing you across. And you have access to like a blast that you're blasting at this screen, trying to rack up all of these points, to get the best points of the day, to get the best ranking of the day, for your chance to join the Villainous Six, which is like the main like quote unquote bad guys from the franchise. It looks like a fun ride. It looks like a good ride. But yeah, I feel like that's. And I mentioned this in the video that I'm going to be bringing out soon. This kind of like theme park attraction looks like it could be the future for these kind of experiences that they're going to want to bring out to bring access to gaming to everyone in like the parks, from like the tiniest little kids to like the oldest park goers. So I mean, it's very accessible. It looks like a good time. It looks pretty good.
Now, did you by any chance find any information interesting about that Minion Blast that they've got?
I mean, it looks pretty good. Like, so Minion Blast, it looks kind of, it's what I find interesting about it is the fact that you've got like this access to like a blaster, like a gun, like a Nerf gun type kind of thing. And obviously it uses your infrared or like some sort of Bluetooth connection, that helps you to rack up your scores and things like that. So I mean, in ways of that, they've come a long way in terms of theme parks like that. The only one that's kind of like that, that I can kind of relate it to, that I know of, is a ride in Disney World and like Disneyland, based on Buzz Lightyear. It's called Space Ranger Spin. Kind of the same concept, but instead of like walking on like an omni mover and like being like pushed across with like a giant screen, It's more like you're in like a carriage, like a carriage with like a mounted gun, and it's more like props, like 3D props to like try and shoot little targets, rather than like a screen and like video kind of like video essence to it.
Yeah. Like the article was talking about how Universal wants guests to become the star of their own show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
It's a cool concept. I think if they pull it off, they'd be able to pull it off really well. To be fair.
Now, they also mentioned that it all started when Universal Studios launched the first Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Now, have you checked into that? Because I know you're a big Harry Potter fan too. So
I am. Yeah, I'm a big Potter fan. I mean, interactive stuff like that. From what, if I remember rightly with what the article was saying, if my memory serves well, when the Wizarding World opened in Orlando, they had like an interactive like experience that was accessible around like a scavenger hunt type thing that was accessible across the park, with like an interactive like wand that you could purchase, and you had use the wand, you did like motions of like the spells and things. It made things happen. I think that's what they're talking about, because that's the only kind of like interactive thing I can think of. But like in the real world, like obviously beside the rides and things like that, but in the real world type like experiences, I don't know if they still do it, and I think they did it before COVID and everything, but I don't know if they brought it back.
Okay.
Yeah, they still do it. We had
do they? Yeah.
We had annual passes to Universal last year. Now we haven't had them this year, so unless it's changed within, I guess, the past, it's been about 8 months. So
Yeah.
I mean, but they were still doing that at Universal, and that ride you were talking about at Disney with Buzz Lightyear, they actually have a Men in Black ride that actually kind of parallels the exact same concept, to where you're shooting at the things, you have your gun, like you have your 2-person cart, but what Roger was talking about with the ones are like you're actually the player. Now, I guess maybe I missed this. If you did say, have you experienced this? Like to where you're the player, you get points kind of for how you're like during the game. Like let's just say you get to be Mario. If you know what I mean. Like if you want to really.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean. You're actually Mario. You get your points like that. Have you?
Yeah.
Heard about this, or is that something you've experienced? Because I'm highly interested in. It's concept. Like it, unless until you die anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. No. Excuse me. No, I've not experienced it myself, because last time I made it over to the States, like the park things, it was like 2011, so it's a long time ago. But obviously I keep up to date with all the news and everything. I know there's one at Nintendo Worlds, Hollywood and Japan. I think it's the Mario Kart, where you get to play Mario Kart essentially. Like you get to be, you get to go through the ride as like quote unquote Mario, as it were. You get to go through the Mushroom Kingdom and things like that. I mean, they look really fun. They look really interactive. They look,
What the heck is that about, Karma?
I was just listening, as I always do. So yeah, but that's cool. No, I was just listening to what Roger, like I said, was saying more so in regards to being an actual thing. And then with Disney, do you have my question? Can I ask them something?
Yeah.
What is your favorite Disney park? Like out of all the parks, when the last time you went, I know you said it's been a while. So which park do you favor the most, and then why?
So I rank these. This for me, it's like this is like a solid, definitive list that we go through quite a lot as like Disney adults. Mm-hmm. I'm a basic boy. It's got to be Magic Kingdom. It's got to be Magic Kingdom.
Seriously, even over
Yeah.
MGM, like even over Hollywood Studios.
I mean, Hollywood Studios isn't my favorite purely because I haven't got anything to go off it yet. I've not been, but Epcot is a very close second. Epcot is like very, very high. Like I love Epcot.
I never appreciated Epcot as a kid, but as an adult, I would love to just.
Everyone says it, Karma. No one appreciates Epcot as a kid, but as soon as you get older, you're like, when you get older, it's like, damn, this park is like the best.
The best one, right? You can go to all the countries, and you can get a different, like everything and everywhere. Like,
oh yeah, 100%. No, but Magic Kingdom is my favorite purely for like the nostalgia.
Yeah, it feels good. I feel it's just always so crowded.
Always. The crowds are insane, but the rides, like my favorite ride is there. Big Thunder Mountain's there. That's like my all-time favorite roller coaster.
Space Mountain.
Big Thunder.
Oh, Big Thunder. Yes.
Yeah, Big Thunder.
Rickety for me.
Yeah.
I do Space Mountain because like I like the whole dark and just like.
Oh yeah. Space Mountain's a good one. But yeah, in terms of why, it's more than nostalgia. I think because the first ever park I went to was Disneyland Paris, and this was when I was like really young, and that's like the first memories of like going to like a Disney park, and it was just taking it all, and it was like wow. And then when I went to like the States and then that took it on like a bigger level, it was like, holy crap, this is huge, and it's insane. I don't think anything compares seeing the castle for like the first time, like any time. Yeah, like you can see any of the icons and be like, yeah, I mean, Spaceship Earth's there, Tower of Terror, but you see that castle, it hits home. It hits home. So I think that's the real reason, just for the nostalgia, just for the feelings that it can evoke. 100%.
That's nice. Now, have you been to Animal Kingdom?
I've been to all six. Well, I've not been to Typhoon Lagoon, but I've been to all four main like parks.
Yeah, I've never been.
And Blizzard Beach. I love Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom was good, but I feel like there was not enough to do the last time I went. So I'm very, very looking forward to going and exploring Pandora.
Did you do
that kind of stuff?
The safari?
Love the safari. That favorite thing. So last time I went on the safari, we had like this story where we was trying to stop poachers. They've long since stopped that, but that honestly, the safari itself is just a great ride.
Yeah, I remember you say the baby elephant at the end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the story.
There's one thing we got to get to. This was the big one, and it's Disney followed suit with Star Wars. So now, what about Galaxy Edge, which was brought out in 2019? Do you know anything about that, Zach?
Yeah. So again, never been. But just like I put this out here, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. Never have, never will be. Indiana Jones till I die. Like Indiana Jones, like the best franchise by Lucasfilms. Just putting it out there. But the Star Wars stuff looks insane. Batuu looks gorgeous. And again, this I'm giving you all the spoilers here for this video because I've actually mentioned this in this video that I've just finished recording today. Okay. Like from where the theme parks began from like the late 1990s to now, like the immersive like concepts of let's Millennium Falcon, the Smuggler's Run ride. You get to pilot the Millennium Falcon, like that is everybody's, like whoever's, if you're a Star Wars fan or not, you want to pilot the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. Like I want to pilot the Millennium Falcon. I absolutely love that. It is such a cool concept, and what I love about the ride in particular, and it's nothing to do with like the mechanics or like how the ride functions, it's the exit queue. So the exit queue, they have if you do really poorly, like you have a pilot who crashes all through like the whole concept of like smashing and crashing into everything, that then reflects on the exit queue. Like you get to see the damage of the Millennium Falcon as you're coming out of the Millennium Falcon, and that changes every single time.
Oh wow.
But it's not. But it's not like. It's not like screens. It's like physical props.
Wow.
It is such a cool concept that they were able to like grasp hold of, and it's like yes. But then in terms of like going back to like the video game concept of it, you get bonuses for like driving well, you get for like piloting well, you get bonuses for like shooting so many people. You can get points taken off you for how many times you've crashed, whether you've not shot enough people. There's all that kind of like gaming aspect to it, and it's just such a cool concept of how they've brought it all together as like a multiplayer platform, because everybody's got to work together. And it's just so cool, man. It's just so cool. Like I hands down feel that is going to be for those types of like immersive like rides and things like that. That is definitely going to be the future of how they want to go forward in terms of anything like that. And anything like below that is not going to be good enough for anyone, because we've had the best of the best so far, and they need to keep improving on that. And I think they will.
That from what I remember from the article, they were talking about that they actually incorporated that into both Disneyland and Disney World, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, so essentially, the one at California Adventure and Hollywood Studios are carbon copies of each other. The only differences between the two is obviously the size, because obviously Walt Disney World's bigger, so they've put it on a kind of like a bigger scale to what California is. But essentially, it's all the same ride system. It's the same, and I feel like it had to be, because like if you're going to go to like say California and you're going to get one experience, you're going to expect it from like Hollywood Studios at like Disney World. And if you go to Disney World and you're not getting the same experience, and people are like, what the hell, man, what's the deal, why are we not getting the same experience that we did at the West Coast? Why? So I feel like they had to copy it to appease everyone, so then no matter what side of like the country you're on, you can both have the same experience.
No, I heard too, like your reputation within the land actually follows you, like how well you play the game.
Yeah. So that's like an interactive thing that you can do. So there's like a mini game that you can do around where you can do like bounty hunting and things like that. And then you can build a droid and things like that. So you build a droid at the droid factory. And you can also like determine if you want to be part of the resistance or the what's it called, the First Order. So you get to kind of like choose what side your droid and things like that, and that heavily impacts on like the kind of like interactive like aspects of the land as well, which is very, very cool. It's it's those little things that you don't really think about that are there for that makes that land even more immersive. And in terms of like going back to like how we expect things to go going forward, we're just going to expect this because there's a lot that went into Galaxy's Edge that we're going to expect from the new lands that are going to be opening soon. Not soon, but like that are going to be opening in the future in like the parks itself and things like that. And it's just a stepping stone, I think, for like all these interactive bits and all of like these immersive kind of like experiences. Once you've set the bar, you need to like go above and beyond the bar. And I'm like, it sounds biased, but Disney have always done this in terms of like whether it's the movies, whether it's the parks. Like Disney was the first company ever to make a robotic like audio animatronic, and they technically have that name like trademark to them. So if you see like an animatronic in like Universal or Hershey Park, Knott's Berry Farm, wherever you're gonna go, it's not an audio animatronic. It is just an animatronic. So it's very cool. Like Disney have always set the bar high, and they've always gone above and beyond. And I have no doubt that they will do keep going that in the future.
Well, it's good to hear you say stuff like that because, like, I know with that article, they were kind of down on that ride because, and people have been doing it from the beginning. I think it's because of, like, they even mentioned it in the article about the Smuggler's Ride, the Smuggler's Run ride.
Yeah, Smuggler's Run, yeah.
Yeah, they've been promising to put that out for a while now, and they just they never brought it out. I think that it always comes back to that, and it's good to hear people who, don't stick to that. It's just like every time you have a conversation about that ride, they always talk about the Smuggler's Run, and someday they might do it out, but with all the expectations that they have on there, I mean, I personally feel that they're like really overreaching at the moment. It doesn't mean that they're going to get there. It's just they're just looking really far ahead, about what they're going to do.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think that's one of the. It's more so a goal and an issue from my point of view, because obviously they set the bar so high with something like Smuggler's Run. That's like their big attraction. They built a whole like ride system for it, like a whole ride system from scratch.
Yeah.
But they did the same like 20 odd years ago with Star Tours. Like that system didn't exist until Disney made it. Like that type of attraction didn't exist until Disney sat down like, right, how can we make this? How can we immerse our guests? How can we do this?
Yeah.
You
remember the first Falcon, right? Millennial Falcon ride they had. I mean, you could get in there and literally shoot the freaking gun and it would turn and stuff. I mean.
Oh yeah.
And that was pretty good back in the day too.
That's it exactly. It's because they have those expectations. A lot of us, like we're all to blame here as like the community of like Disney. We expect a lot from them all of the time, but sometimes we don't appreciate like the little things.
Yeah.
So this weekend alone, like as we're talking, is a panel for D23 guests, which is like a collection of like the biggest Disney fans, like who can go to like the expos and things like that, get access to like the expos and things like that. There's one currently in Florida called Destination D23. It's like a weekend event where they announce like some new experiences, new stuff for the parks, new kind of like movies, new things for like the cruise line, everything like that. I watched it back and I was like, yeah, this was kind of like, I was expecting some of this to be announced because like it was in the works for a while, but then also some of it was like, yeah, I guess, because like we always expect them to be like, right, this is what we want. We want a brand new park opening at Walt Disney World. We want it now. Like we want a brand new park. We don't want expansions. We want a park. And when we get expansions, we're like, yeah, I guess we'll settle for it. I guess. I mean, if they do a good job, I'm sure it'll be fine. But like, we're never fully happy with what we get. But we always kind of just be like, yeah, we'll take it. It's the little victories, I guess. But like deep down, we all want, like, we expect Disney to like know what we're thinking. We're like, right, we want this, we want this, we want this, we want this. It's like, that's not how it works, and we never learn. We never learn.
Yeah. Now, before we get off of the Star Wars and Walt Disney stuff, I do want to let you know, Karma Love actually lives in Orlando, and she has been dragged to Disney World all of her life by her mom, who is obsessed with you, or
jealous
like you are.
Well, I have a question, because you were saying about the expo that's happening, and then they're, I guess, seeing what kind of ideas or what type of expectations
Yeah,
that
yeah.
are being held in regards. If Disney was to open a different type of park, I have actually two questions because I had this question previously. If Disney
Okay.
was to open a different park, what would you feel like it should be based around? Like, what could you consider would be like a good theme? That would be an attraction that is different besides what we were talking about with this interactive. I feel like with this interactive thing that we're discussing, that is
Yeah,
definitely a dope consideration. But if it
yeah,
was not that, what would it be centered around? Because like all of their parks kind of have, like, you have your fantasy feel, you have your outdoorsy feel. So like, what would be a good concept? And then just so you know, if you would like to jumble them together, also because it kind of does go together, what would you like to see changed within Disney and how they necessarily, not necessarily operate, but how they present or how they're able to get more? Because right now the big problem is not a lot of people are coming out. And what would be a way that you think that they could change or get more people to actually join the park, if you have? Because I mean, because you're
yeah.
being a fan, I feel like you kind of would look at this type of stuff as well.
Yeah, I like to theorize this stuff a lot. So, so I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't add. I wouldn't add a new park. I wouldn't, because I feel like four is enough. We've got four at Disney World alone. There's four massive parks. There's two water parks. You've got an upteen amount of other stuff to do there as well.
Disney Springs, yeah.
Disney Springs, you've got the golf courses, you've got like the mini golf, you've got like
Club
shopping, you've
Mickey.
got Disney Springs for shopping, you've got it all. You've got it all. So they don't necessarily need another park. What I would like, and this I'm sure every person, if given the chance, would say this. I'd love to see Epcot's done in a way like how Walt envisioned it when he first started to like do the Florida project, which was obviously Disney World and stuff like that. I'd like to see it kind of like functioning as not like a town, not like a city, but more like a community, like having people from around the world, like obviously like World Showcase, people from around the world gather and things like that. But I feel like they need more lands. I feel like it should be two separate parks, like two separate areas.
Experiences,
Two separate experiences. So obviously the World Showcase could be
incorporated into one.
yeah. So, but make the park bigger, expand the World Showcase in terms of all of that kind of stuff, and then your Future World, your World Showcase, whatever they're calling it now, World Nature, all that kind of stuff. Bring that back a bit, like make that a little bit bigger, and then incorporate all of these ideas into how they're doing it now. Because I love the way Epcot is looking at the minute, in terms of like how they split it up into little pavilions.
Yeah, different countries and stuff.
Yeah, but they need to add more to the World Showcase. They need to add another couple of lands.
I feel like they should. It is kind of congested. I feel like just for them to be able, like different areas as well, as expanding the areas that are there to offer more of the experience. I don't know. Norway is really dope. I love that. Like when you go to Norway and you can do like the Vikings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But cause we go to Disney Springs, I was telling him about like the Irish pub. I was telling him about that experience, and they have really good Bailey's Irish cream shake. But like it's weird because inside of the park is completely different in regards. I don't remember Ireland at all, or like anything. I'm thinking, I mean, but it's been years. But it's just like I don't know. I was just wondering because like I'm thinking, but no, there is now. I see. Okay, but I guess because I was a kid, it was different. I wouldn't really travel there as often. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I was just wondering because I was like, there's more outside of Epcot for like when it becomes to Irish stuff than there is inside. But then I guess there's there is places inside of Epcot as well the same. So what would you
Yeah.
see? Like what areas do you think that they could expand? Like they could offer as an attraction? Like if they got new countries, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you think?
I mean, they need like a Greece pavilion. That'd be dope. Put Hercules in there. Put Megara in there as like live meet and greets. Get the muses in there for like a musical adaptation. Just grease it up. Like get that in there. Get like
That's actually a really good idea.
what else can do? I mean, get like a South America. Like I can't think if they got like a South American one, but like Cuba or like kind of like that kind of area of like South America. Expand on that a little bit. Expand on the England pavilion because I feel like that's really lacking. We was getting a Mary Poppins attraction and they just completely threw it out the window.
So you have to say something. You have to, like, and you know why? It's because people don't do Mary Poppins as much. But I think that would be so cool.
It looks so good because he was going to do Cherry Tree Lane. It looked insane. The concept
if you can fly
looks
on
amazing.
umbrellas, it'll be nice.
Oh, 100%. I will message Josh tomorrow and be like, listen, pal, get me that now. Get me that.
Right now.
He will too. Don't
Don't
doubt Zack. Zack's probably emailing the freaking president of Disney World like on a regular.
I will get Bob Iger on the phone. I will get Bob Iger.
I had to send some tickets around.
Okay, so now we come to the hard hitters. Okay, I did get some comments that I told everybody on Minds that I would ask them for them if they didn't get to the stream. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the part I told them to be nice to you about. All right.
Okay.
Because everybody on Minds are crazy. They love that.
Wait a minute, you put me on Minds. What are you saying? You met me there.
Here you go. So the first comment that was made is from a guy called Pecos Dave, and he says, I don't love everything about Disney, yet I have Disney Plus Triple Play. I sort of feel like Disney is holding great stuff hostage through acquisition. The original Star Wars trilogy, the prequel trilogy, part of the Clone Wars cartoons, all existed before Disney bought them. Now they're on Disney Plus. I love Futurama. Disney bought Fox and made new episodes. Those are on Hulu. It all started to fall apart a bit now, but some of the Marvel stuff was good. So do you have anything that you'd like to mention about what he was talking about there?
Yeah, so I agree in a sense because I am heavily opinionated that I'm a big fan of Disney, obviously, like probably a bit too much, but I do not agree with how nowadays how the company is ran, and to me it's a very different thing to how it's ran and to experience the parks, watch the movies, all that kind of stuff. I feel that I'm very opinionated on this, Roger and Karma. I am very, very opinionated on this. I feel Disney have too much IP for them to know what to do.
Yeah.
And it comes down to, it does come down to like, Marvel is a prime example. Like Avengers Endgame, probably like that. I think it's now the highest grossing film ever. Or one of them. I know it's in like the top 10 or the top 5. And that was an incredible movie from what I've not watched it, but from like my friends, family and everything, they're like, yes, this movie was insane. And then you come to like the newest one, which I believe was like, what was the newest one? Like Ant-Man? I don't know. It was like something.
Yeah.
And apparently the CGI in that was just not up to scratch. And I feel like that's because Disney have this high standard that they have to pump out new material every other year or every year, and the quality is dropping. It's very much quality over quantity. With like the Star Wars stuff, Ahsoka has just come out. You've got the Mandalorian. You've got all the movies. that it sounds bad, but in a sense, they're bleeding these franchises dry. In a sense, and you know, this comes from someone who loves Disney, who loves the whole idea. But I don't love the concept of them owning everything. Like you got like the comment said, you go to Disney Plus and everything is on there.
Yeah.
Like you want to watch, you want to watch Futurama, you want to watch Simpsons. It's all on Disney Plus. Yes, it's convenient because it's all under one roof. But then you've also got to take into consideration, like the Simpsons and Futurama were like when Matt Groening created those, it was made to be a little bit more of like an adult-based cartoon. You look at it now, it's got that Disney umbrella over it. They can't be as like like sketchy as they want to be. They have to touch on that family friendliness, and I feel like it takes away some of like the charm of like those kind of like shows, like The Simpsons, Futurama. Family Guy is owned by Disney technically. Deadpool is owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Deadpool is the only Marvel character that I absolutely adore. Like I will hands down watch anything Deadpool in it.
He's goofy.
He's goofy.
He's goofy as shit.
He actually is.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds, man, is like probably one of my favorite actors as well. So it just helps. But again, that's owned by Disney now. Like Deadpool 3 is now going to be made under the Disney umbrella, and as much as I love Deadpool, I am very, very worried about how that's going to turn out. Obviously, you've got like the writer strikes going on and the actor strikes and everything like that. That's going to affect it in a way as well. But it's concerning, and I feel like Disney have bitten off more than they can chew, essentially.
For me personally, I look at that and I'm like, what the hell is Disney doing, even owning freaking Marvel? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, dude. Seriously. I mean, it's two different genres.
Yeah.
And
then they have the Marvel attraction at Universal. That's what makes it really, really wild. Because the Marvel attraction at Universal, but Disney owns Marvel. It's
so. This is where it gets dodgy. This is where it gets weird, because Disney don't. As far as last time I heard, Disney don't own like they don't own Spider-Man. They don't own. I don't think they own some of the characters. I think they just own
the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just own the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if those characters are in there, then they obviously that's part of that. So they own like Doctor Strange. They own all of those like Thor, Iron Man, all that kind of stuff. But they don't own. I don't think they own
Iron Man. He's a
big Sony.
Yeah.
It's very, very weird. It's very, very weird.
Okay. Now, because I was unaware of that.
Yeah. Last time I heard, I don't know if anything changed, because last time I heard there was like a giant lawsuit between them all happening, and it's one of them. But
again, it kind of gets mangled up too, because don't Sony have something to do with all of it as well? Like Sony is caught up with the Walt Disney World and everything else too, so so it all just gets very confusing, and it could all just be avoided. Like I will say that I did an episode on this with one of my friends for the podcast, and we talked about IP. If I remember rightly, Disney I think they own like 25 companies, like including Marvel, ESPN, ABC, all like they're in the works of like owning Hulu. There's a lot that they own, and I think it's too much. Because then they're like, right, we need to appeal to all of these audiences that we've acquired. How do we do that? How do we do that? And then they're like, we'll just pump out as much content as possible. We don't care if it's any good. We'll just get it out there, and it's just it just gets messy. It just gets
it just gets messy, essentially. So
Yeah, and I think out of all of it, that's the worst part is like Walt Disney's message is just completely lost. You know what I mean? Like, look at the man Walt Disney and what he
mm.
envisioned, and it's just all gone. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
just completely
100%.
flushed it down the toilet. And I think that's the bad part about it because Walt Disney wasn't a bad man at all. I mean,
No, no. Walt Disney was a visionary. He was a, he knew what he wanted and he made sure that he did it. I now
His brother was about the money though. Roy was
yeah,
very much about the
yeah.
money, and they
Roy
made
was
sure that
yeah,
yeah, he wasn't. He was
yeah,
about the vision, like you said, and so they got rid
yeah.
of. They teach you that because I used to work for Disney, and
Yeah,
they teach
yeah,
you that. Well, they don't teach you that part, but you kind of
yeah.
learn that part as you go. But
Yeah,
yeah, that man, he
yeah.
got his
See,
brother for the money.
yeah, Roy was the like the like the businessman behind it. Walt was the creativity, and I
And
feel
he
like
didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that Roy wanted to do, and
no,
and that was a big issue because it's like, nah, I want it like this, and it's just like, but it should be like this, and we can get more money. And he was
yeah,
like, I don't care about the money, like, and he's like, oh, you don't
yeah,
care, and so, but yeah.
yeah. And Walt never cared about the money. Walt never cared. He just wanted to make things for people, and I feel that like I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Bob Iger. Like I know he's done a lot for the company over the past few years and things like that. But I think besides Walt, I think my favorite CEO, bar his rubbish end of his tenureship, was Michael Eisner. Michael Eisner was like did so much for the company and the parks and the movies. Like under his tenureship, we had all of those amazing like Renaissance movies. We had The Little Mermaid. We had The Lion King. We had all those classic movies. He opened like 6 parks under his time as CEO. Maybe even more to be fair. California Adventure, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot. No, Epcot was open when he was there.
Yeah, so.
Hong Kong, Paris,
Wow.
Tokyo.
How long
I'm
was
pretty
his
sure.
reign? How long was he president?
I think it was 10 years. I think it was 10 years. I think because he did something called the Disney Decade where he wanted to do as much as possible in the 10 years of like him being CEO. And then I think Iger took over in 2005? Yeah, I think it was 2005 Iger took over, or just before. And then that's when it started being about the money and things like that.
That's
and
crazy. That's when I stopped. So he was basically the president the whole time I was going. Because 2004, yeah, that's when I stopped. Like 2004 is probably my last year I went to Disney. Well, as I would say, I don't want to say kid, but like that with my family. I went when I worked, of course, but I only went to a few of the parks and I didn't experience as much. But yeah, I didn't know. That's funny to me.
now the next part I was debating on if I wanted to bring up. I think I can state it in a better way because Pecos is a bit of a wild man, so I'm gonna try to say it. I'm gonna try to say it as best as I can. Okay.
Okay.
Now Pecos, he says he feels like Disney has gone out and basically bought good stuff that already existed, and then he made them saturated with freaking political correctness and stuff, and I never got to see any of the changes they did to Willow, and I'm guessing he's thinking the movie from the 80s or 90s were kind of like a Conan kind of setting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
He says that they saturated that with the whole gay thing on there. You know what I mean? And what he's wanting to know is, or what he's saying is, he doesn't object to like people who are generally gay,
Yeah.
or some character in the things, but the only thing that he has is a problem is um, the it becomes a plot point, and they turn it into a preaching platform about being politically correct and
Yeah.
being homosexual and stuff like
Mm.
that.
Okay. Okay.
That's the best way I could say it because
Yeah.
um, but what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't. I want to. I also want to be like politically correct here because I don't want to. I know I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm kind of. I'm kind of leaning to the other side. Like, I am kind of in the LGBTQ community, so I'm not. I'm like I've identified as biromantic, which essentially means I'm attracted. I'm attracted to women, but I like the aspect of being biromantic is like if like a guy looks good or grooms well or essentially like takes care of themselves, I'll be like, yeah, I appreciate that. He looks like I'd admittedly say to a guy, he looks sexy. I'd admittedly say that because that's what I've identified as biromantic. So I'm kind of in the community, even though I don't feel like I am. So in terms of this, it's a tough one because like I feel like yes, it can be overdone in a point of where does a story need to be like, or does a movie need to be redone in terms of having this done to be politically correct? But on the other side of it, I'm like, okay, I appreciate that they've done this. I appreciate that they're telling the story in another way, because the way I look at like the remakes and the live actions of how they've redone these stories is it's not like a complete rip-off. It's not like they've redone the movie, they're retelling the story because they've changed an aspect of it. Like it's kind of in the same boat, but like the Little Mermaids, like everyone, when the live action Little Mermaid was announced like a couple of years ago, everyone was losing their shit because it was like, well, why is she why is she black? Why is she not a red-haired person that we know Ariel to be? Yeah. And it's because it's a retelling of the story. It's not the story that we grew up with. It's a retelling of that same story. Like these live actions, the one that I'm gonna like go is Beauty and the Beast, and I think this ties in well. Beauty and the Beast filled in some plot holes of the original animated, movie. It announced that LeFou was gay, which obviously you could probably tell from LeFou that he had a thing. Yeah, that he had a thing for Gaston. Yeah, 100%. That he had a thing. Oh yeah, that he had a thing for Gaston.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, look at him. He's a powerhouse. Like,
but you say 100%. That he's gay? I thought he was just really romantic because one of his girls was his girl. He had a girlfriend in the movie, and he was mon ami. It's like and then like you were saying, what is it called? If I'm not offending, because you were talking about what you identify with, and like. But does that mean, like, because you tell someone that they look nice, so if I tell a girl she looks nice, does that mean, like, that's the same? Just because you're telling someone that they look good or that they,
yes and no. I mean, I think it's on that kind of line. It's like, I mean, it's one of them, like, I don't know. I think because I flirt with men and women to a point where it's like, in a point where like with a woman, or any like who identifies as a woman or anything like that, like I'll actively like seek out a relationship with like a female, but like with a male I wouldn't, because I'm not interested in like the sexual aspect of it. It's more so like just having like a bit of playful nature with it, and like getting up to that point and like, okay, that you know, that I'm not 100% like ready for that, but like, you know, it's one of them. You know, if
It's
you know, if it gets, yeah, if it gets
I
to the
think
point one day, yeah,
I think a lot of that has to do with like, and I know everybody hates hearing this, but it has to do with like the generation gap thing. You know what I mean? Because like my son,
yeah,
my son likes to use the term a, what is it? What is it? Where with your preference, sexual preference, they call it a something, a
oh, asexual,
asexual. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I understand the concept behind it,
yeah,
but I mean, you know, my generation never talked like that before. You know what I mean? It was like
yeah, yeah,
freaking. I mean, stuff like that just was never. I mean, it was either you were gay or you were straight or you were bisexual. That was
yeah, yeah,
understood. But like
yeah,
now they got like classification for classification, and
yeah,
it's just, for me, I think that's what it is. It's just things have gotten really, really uh, descriptive when it comes to all that stuff. You know.
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah. No, I totally get that, and this is why I said at the beginning of like when you know, when the first answer this question, like I feel like sometimes I kind of forget that I'm in that kind of community, because I've always been like that, and I never. It was only a couple of years ago that I realized that it was actually like a thing,
Yeah.
like it was actually like a pronoun, like a word for it. I was like, oh, I guess that explains my kind of like personality and how I am, but like I've never let it really define me, because like I am, you know, I am who I am. I do what I do. Like, you know, obviously, I mean, it's very few and far between that I speak to, you know, men of that way. But like, you know, in my day job, I'm surrounded by women all day. I work in childcare, so it's like being naturally talking to women on a daily basis is just like, it's just natural. Like I can have like banter with them. I can talk to them, like, you know, we've got a good friendship going with everyone at work and things like that. So it's just me being me, and like it's just
And now it's being identified. You're just yourself, but now it's
yeah,
people to
yeah,
say you're like this and you're like that. And I think that's kind of what Roger was saying. Like, do you
yeah,
feel as though it's kind of like to where it's like not pressurized, but just like a focal point? And if so, like, yeah, I see that, because it doesn't have, because you could be yourself and not have to have a label on it. And
yeah,
that's
of
the
course,
biggest
yeah,
thing. Like, I don't know, but it is what it is. But
So
yeah,
I don't really want to like go further on that because
yeah,
it's
like
it's
this
a
is
good it's a good topic for another thing. But
mm,
I,
not Disney.
you know, I love the shit out of you, Zach. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I, none of
Yeah, but thank you for sharing
that
your
matters to
perspective.
me. Is
yeah.
Yes,
what's
No,
important to
no,
me.
definitely. And
that's
thank
what
you
I mean.
for being so
At the
honest.
end of the day, I'll just put my 2 cents in. You
Because
are who you are. Be who you want to be, and
right,
if you want to put a label on it, do so.
And go
But
for
right.
it doesn't have to define who you are, and that's all I'm gonna say.
But I do have the last question, and
The last one,
this has to do with Star Wars, and it's from Mr. Robot. Okay.
Mr. Robot.
Mr.
What a
Robot
legend.
says, I thought it was a sin that Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney. Just glad that they haven't polluted it as much as they have other icons. For the most part, I think Star Wars was a pretty, no, the new, I thought, or I think the new Star Wars things are pretty good. Now,
Yeah.
um, are you okay with the way they did the new Star Wars?
it.
I mean, again, it's one of them. I've watched them in passing. I've watched. I know of them. I know they finished like the Skywalker trilogy. That was a good way to, you know, end the story off that Lucas, you know, Lucas Arts film. You know, presented back in the day. In terms of Lucas selling to Disney, that was in the works for what I believe a long time, because Disney and Lucas have been working together for years. Like, Disney approached Lucasfilms to be like, we want Star Wars in our parks. We want Star Tours. We've got this idea for a ride. We've got this. We want this implemented in. Do you want to be part of it? George Lucas said yes, and they've had a partnership ever since. They had Star Wars days at like Hollywood Studios and like and the Disneyland Park way back in the day. And this was all under, they were working very closely together because George was a big fan of the parks anyhow. Like, he went as a child. He was a big fan. He was always there. He was very hands-on with like the projects of Star Tours and I believe Batu as well, Galaxy's Edge. I think he had a hand in that as well, of like doing some of the concept arts for like some of the land and stuff like that. So it was very much an expected thing to come from. I mean, they had the Indiana Jones show in Hollywood Studios long before they bought out LucasArts. They had, they've got the indie rides in the parks at Disneyland and Disneyland Paris as well. So the IPs have been there way before like they acquired. So it was just I think it was just a matter of time. Yeah, I think it was just a matter of time. But in terms of that, I mean, some of the programs look insanely good. I will put it out there. Like, I've not watched them because obviously I don't know enough about Star Wars. But The Mandalorian, Baby Grogu, Ahsoka looks really good. Like, I'm glad that they're bringing out some of these characters that people love and putting them in the spotlight a little bit more. Some of the movies look all right. But yeah, I think
honest, I've only watched the first one and the one with the girl and the boy. Now, I have no problem with the main character being a female. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I understand the history behind Star Wars. Like, they were debating on if not Han Solo, but freaking Luke Skywalker was going to be the main character, or if it was going to be Princess Leia, because in the story they both had the same basic abilities, and if you go back to the books and the stories and stuff. So in the beginning, Lucas was debating if he wanted it to be freaking Princess Leia or Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So when they did these new ones, that's why they decided to use a female.
Yeah.
But one issue I had was the fact that they gave her too much. Okay, like they killed off Han Solo.
Yeah.
Okay. Now she goes from freaking having Luke Skywalker's abilities to freaking having Chewbacca as her sidekick and taking charge of the freaking Millennial Falcon.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like, to me, I think that was just pouring it on a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Because she literally had the role of 3 other actors in the freaking movie series. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, I think they gave too much to it, and I feel like Disney do that often with like I don't think Disney like to say no to some of the executives, because they're like, this would have happened in a board meeting. They're like, right, we want Rey to be like the next Luke Skywalker. We want it to be the main protagonist of like the next sequel of films. What do we want to do? And then somebody like, oh, what about if she's like has Han Solo as a sidekick? They're like, we'll keep thinking. And then they'll be like, what if Han Solo gets killed and then she can be Han Solo and then she can have Chewbacca and drive the Millennium Falcon, but still be Luke Skywalker? And they'd be like, is that going to work? We're like, we'll make it work. It was like, okay, sure. I don't think they like to say no. sometimes.
Did
I think
they
it.
did they kill Luke Skywalker off? I never got to watch that part. But
Uh,
did he die?
I I don't know. I've not watched that far.
I haven't either.
Yeah, no. I don't care enough to know. I mean, I guess someone will tell me if something happens. You know what I
Well, I
mean?
know from what I've heard, I know that they finally turned Han Solo's son over to the good, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Who was
Um,
that? Kylo Ren?
yeah,
Was that? Yeah, yeah.
I did hear that.
Mm.
Okay, so with that done, we do have some stuff on Universal, and
Okay.
if you want to go over some of that, that'd be cool. Do you have a
Yeah,
problem with
sure.
going over an hour?
No, not at all. No, no,
Because we're at like an hour and 20 minutes, so I just wanted
no, no. I
to
mean,
check with you.
I ain't got no plans. It's a Saturday. I'm sat inside. It's all good.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it. It's a nice chat. I'll
Okay.
happily talk theme parks and Disney, and you know, you're
I
appeasing my heart here.
this is some good stuff too. I mean, it's really good stuff on gaming. I've
Good, good.
now the next part that I wanted to go over was Super Nintendo World. You'd mentioned it earlier. It was
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
introduced by Universal Studios. Now,
Hmm.
the first one was in Japan in 2021, right? And then
Yes, it was. Yeah, yeah,
and then the second one was in 2023 in California.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, uh, it brought with it an interactive, supposedly never seen before at a theme park experience, and it was filled with mini games and interactive elements,
Mm.
and it allowed guests to earn points and attempt to top the leaderboards.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
what Carmen was talking about earlier.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and they like they'd had the mini games on Mario Kart, Bowser's
Mm.
Revenge, and it would take into account the scores and the achievements and other information, relevant information,
Mm.
and it was all tracked within the Universal Studio app that you could get on your phone, I believe.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It was a good implementation from what I saw. Like, obviously, the interactivity of it is like something that's never been done before in the parks, which is very, very cool. So it's, again, with the boundaries of like breaking them and bringing something new to the parks that people are wanting to enjoy, making it interactive as possible. Earning the points and things with the rides, making everything interactive, I think is a really cool concept. But the way they did it's different from how it's been done in the past. Like I mentioned, I know Cal was talking about it as well before, in the Wizarding World, where they had the interactive like wand kind of like thing and things like that. Um, they had that as well. So the interactive elements have always kind of been there. I know Universal have done it more in the past than Disney. I know Disney had a couple a while ago. I don't know if they still do it. I think one was called like the Sorcerer's like Apprentice. That's not Sorcerer. That's a movie. Sorcerer's something, where you had to like it was like interactive parts of like Fantasyland, I think.
Uh-huh.
Um, but the Mario stuff looks insanely cool. Like the whole idea of it, I think, is just to get kids and like everyone interacting with kids and like adults interacting with it and things like that. It makes fun for like waiting in line and all of that fun stuff like interact. I think you have like a band that you interact it with, that you kind of like hit the blocks with like a band specifically for the land, which is very, very cool. And yeah, it looks super impressive. To be fair, it looks really, really cool.
that part about the high scores, achievements too. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
and the article was talking about like the fact that it's in Florida. Like Karma's in Florida, okay,
yeah,
and her Disney World out there is out in the middle of the boondocks. Because
yeah, yeah.
well, yeah, it was, yeah, it is.
You
No,
keep saying that, but it's
yeah.
not the boondocks anymore. We're highly developed. Thank you very much.
I
when I,
mean, when Walt first bought it, it was just swampland, and
It
that's
was
why
okay,
that's
fair. I'm just
that's why
saying.
Magic Kingdom's like 6 feet
see,
above the ground, Karma.
my,
That's
my
why.
whole my whole point about it is like the one in California. Okay, now that
Yeah,
one, I
Never
mean,
been.
people can walk to freaking Disney World. I knew people in California that freaking they wanted to go to Walt Disney World. They just got up in the morning, drank a cup of coffee, put their money in their pocket, and walked down there.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
But it's because they don't like for the access from the outside. Like when we go to onboarding as employees, they tell you that it's strategically hidden in order for it to not be able to be accessed through from outside. Like you
right?
have to
yeah.
come in to experience it. So that's
That's it. Yeah,
strategic. Yeah, but they've built it up a lot because, like I said, Disney Springs is so like, I mean, it's not close, but it's close enough to where you have to do the whole entry and like the drive of, I don't know, of Affinity because it takes forever, but to go to the thing. But yeah, like it's still a lot of stuff around it now. And then with ESPN, they have that, the ESPN Center makes it to where it gets a lot of traffic. But like I
oh
said,
yeah.
design is strategic. Yeah, and they have really good chocolate cake at the ESPN. There's this chocolate cake with vanilla ice cream. Yeah,
Ooh, that
She,
sounds
yeah.
she
good.
loves she loves that place. She says
I
that
like
her mom used to force her to go to Disney
I
World.
never said for like yeah, pull, you're going right now, getting the switch
No,
off.
Mum, I don't want to see Mickey Mouse again.
Not
Oh,
again.
Again,
No. I
can we
love
at least see
I,
Donald Duck today? But yeah, but we were talking about it last time, you know, and I mentioned that, but then I also mentioned the tourist aspect, you know, because like they want tourists to come from overseas and they want them to come
yeah.
from different states, whereas in California that's not as much of a necessity. So
No, and that's the thing. This is the bottom line. Walt Disney World is a resort. It is built for tourists. That's why it is so freaking huge because it's like the size of San Francisco. It's massive. Like it's huge. But Disneyland and like Hollywood studios in like Hollywood, they're they're for residents. They're not built for tourists. Like I've talked to a load of people that have gone to Disneyland and gone to Universal and be like, it is so different because it is so much smaller. Like it doesn't hold as many crowds. It doesn't hold as many. It doesn't hold as many people. There's not that many people coming out to see like Disneyland or Universal over in Cali because they don't necessarily need to because everything they want is in Walt Disney World on a bigger scale.
yeah,
Like obviously for the die-hard fans of like Universal and everything, and Disney and everything like that, they want to experience those smaller parks because obviously Disneyland is the first park. It was the one that Walt opened. He had a hand in it, and everybody says that when you go to Disneyland, you can feel like the natural essence of like Walt and his presence in the park and everything that he did for it. Universal, like Hollywood as well, because I think that's slightly different because like if I remember rightly, Universal Hollywood is still an active working stage, like an act like they still film stuff there. Um, from I don't know the last thing that they filmed, but I'm pretty sure I know that they filmed the Good Place there, which is one of my favorite comedies, one of my favorite TV programs. They filmed that there, and they've got the plaza there and everything like that. But they've got like some cool things there as well. Like they've got Alfred Hitchcock's trailer there from when he actually used to work at Universal and
Oh wow.
Yeah.
direct his movies and stuff like that.
They just had the remake at the Universal. Well, they don't even have that anymore. But yeah.
No, and that's the thing. Like some of those things that they had long ago, they don't have anymore. At Universal and things like that, because Universal at Orlando used to be a working set as well. I'm pretty sure, but I don't think it is anymore. So did Hollywood Studios. That used to be a working set as well.
Yeah, like the Muppets, you can see like where it would be a working set. Then they had an ABC. Yeah. I remember being a part of a live studio audience. I don't want to say it was for What's Line Is It Any. It was something though, and you were like cool. As an audience. So but as far as now, maybe I just was uninterested and did not. But I know as a kid I used to do that, but I hadn't done any of that or even saw any of that as a.
No.
I was going to mention this too earlier, Zach. Karma might be a good person for you to have on your show. To be honest.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Maybe after the show, you guys can hook up and set up a time to sit down and just do a good interview.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she knows a lot about this stuff. I just recently found out she keeps holding out information on me. And stuff. like this is only.
Come on, Karma. Roger wants to learn. Let's bore him with Disney facts.
This is like the second or third time I've seen her on video, man. She got on video yesterday, and then I caught her at the beginning of my stream dancing and stuff and hanging out and waiting for the stream to start. So I hit freaking stream, and she's like, "Oh my god!" So, but yeah,
right. I started freaking out. You said it was just us. It was just
but I think she'd be a pretty good somebody to talk to, when it comes to like actually going to Disney World and being able to experience some of this stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'd love to hear some stories of your time as a cast member. You can chew my ear off for a good hour about that. That's all good.
Now the gamification.
As interesting as it sounds, I worked at the boardwalk, so yeah.
Oh, I love the boardwalk. 100%. Underrated place in Disney. I love the boardwalk.
You think it's underrated? I think
I think it's underrated because nobody ever. It's gorgeous, especially at night. Oh, and the ESPN bar.
The water and the rocket
ESPN bar. Some of the best food I had at Disney, hands down.
Yeah.
So good.
Now we got to talk about the Super Nintendo world.
Super Nintendo, all good. Let's go.
Now they said now that one's in California, right? That's
in Hollywood, yeah, and there's another one at Japan. I do believe they're doing. I don't know if they're doing one at Orlando though, because I know they're doing Epic Universe. Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, Studio,
which is like their new gate.
Would be Domestic Park and Super Nintendo World.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like a calculated decision, which goes off of the thing about Florida and the tourists, and in California where you have people that are just down the street.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of calculated that in, and then it went on to say that the gamification of Super Nintendo World is there to make visitors want to come back, which is a lot easier to do when you live down the street.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think one of the other reasons for it, and don't quote me on this, but like everyone in the West was so jealous when it got announced for Japan. They was like, we need one of these like yesterday. Because they wanted, because I remember it wasn't supposed to be like all like Mario themed. It was meant to be like Nintendo themed. So in the first like concept arts, it was supposed to have like a Mario land, a Zelda land, like a Hyrule area. It was meant to be like a Donkey Kong area. I'm pretty sure there was meant to be a Kirby area as well in the Japan one. And then they was going to scale it down and then eventually add to that at the Hollywood one. And then they were going to do like a Mario land, a Zelda land, like a Hyrule area. It was meant to be like a Donkey Kong area. It was meant to be a Kirby area as well in the Japan one. And then they was going to scale it down and then eventually add to that at the Hollywood one. when that got announced. So I don't know if those plans are still in motion for that, but I mean, everyone loves Nintendo Land. It looks so fun, and Mario's like a staple character that everyone knows,
Yeah,
which is
I was telling
always
them on the last attempt we did to do this video, I was telling them like on my streams, like I go and I stream freaking Super Mario Brothers 64,
yeah.
and I get huge freaking views. Like, and I go on and I look at Rapid's videos for it, and it just amazes me because he's only getting like 15 views off of freaking the other Super Mario's. You know, I do Super Mario 64, and I get like freaking 100 and 200. I think my best views for my channel was like just under 1,000 views for one video.
Nice. Congrats, man. Congrats.
And I don't understand that, other than the fact that I go in and I actually put the name of the game down in the part where it's an option. You know?
Yeah.
Other than
I have one word for you, Roger, on what it could be. Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. Yeah.
Nostalgia. Everybody loves Nintendo's Super Mario 64. I think that was like probably one. Was it one of the first I played?
Yeah.
Was it? It was either 64 or it was Super. Yeah, it was 64, and then I got on the 64, and then on the Nintendo 64, and then it was, I think it was Mario Bros. Was it 3? I think they did some sort of remake on the Game Boy, like Game Boy Advance, and then obviously, but I mean Mario was
Now you're talking about Super Mario World Part 3, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but Mario 64 was Mario 64 was like just one of the best games I ever played as a kid. It was like, this can never get any better.
Yeah. Now on the whole experience for the theme park thing, they said that you can unlock achievements and then do a personal best. Now, they also said that like after you leave, your personal best and all that information is still stored at the amusement park. So like if you go at home and you want to come back like the following year or year after and play again, you still have your high score, you have your achievements, and everything still stored there for you.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool because I know. Yeah, because I think that's a cool concept. To be fair, like I know sometimes it can be a bit weird with stuff like that, but I think if you obviously if you're not, I think it works better if like you go more often than like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And I think it'll work better, say like at like Hollywood and Japan rather than like Universal Orlando or like another Universal park. Just purely because obviously you've got the locals that can go in once or twice a week or once or twice, like, whenever they want to, like throughout the month and things like that, and keep on top of it, which I think is a good idea. I think if they did implement it into like the bigger parks, put it through the app maybe, because obviously the app can track your tickets and things like that, and then it can track your your scores and things like that so I think they do that with the Minion one. I think it stays in the park, but it also goes on the app as well, like the Universal app.
They were talking about the Minion in that article that I showed you, where he was talking about that. Now,
which I think is a good idea, to be fair.
I did have a valid question at this point in the original video we were trying to put together.
Yeah.
I want your take on it. Now, back in the 70s, okay? I don't...
Way before I was born, I'll give it.
They had a TV movie. They actually tried to bring it back here recently with I think it was a series on Netflix. But it was about a Western amusement park, and the characters in the park were androids, basically. Okay, and
Okay.
it was called Westworld. Now,
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now, do you think like a scenario like that, other than the fact that the cowboy robot went nuts and killed everybody, other than that part, do you think that that could be something that this could actually turn into?
I mean, yes, yeah, yes and no. It's hard. It's hard to answer that because, like, I feel already that we have somewhat kind of that. If you combine, say, like the audio animatronics from like a Disney park with with the like the AI kind of stuff that we've got nowadays at this point, um, I think we can do a pretty good job of that kind of stuff anyway. Um, but again, it's one of them. I feel like if they were to like kind of, I think Disney are already kind of doing that with like I think Universal are doing it as well with like not Universal, like remote controlled animatronics.
Yeah.
So someone's following behind, they're controlling the person, and then you can, they can say certain things, they can react to like your comments and things like that. A good example of this is a meet and greet in Disney World, the talking Mickey Mouse. So the Mickey, like, spoilers for anyone who it's a guy in a mask, but there's a cast member behind like a wall, who's controlling Mickey essentially, and he's they're listening to the conversation, and then if you say, how are you today, Mickey? You doing okay? And he'll be like, yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing? And you can have a conversation with them, which I think is very cool. Universal had something like this with Donkey from Shrek, which I think's gone now. But again, it was essentially the same kind of thing. It was a person talking to you, through an array of like responses and things like that, and it can make it more personal. So I think at that, in terms of like kind of like Westworld-esque kind of robots and things, I think we're kind of getting there to a point where, like, the next few years, I truly think that most of the animatronics will be walking and talking around on their own with like a Bluetooth kind of like adapter where someone can be like, we're controlling this from a further away. We don't have to be right next to them. But yeah, I think we're on the right track to do something like that. I think it'd really make the parks really, really interesting, in terms of that kind of stuff. And I feel like the possibilities would be endless with what you could achieve, what you could perceive as, what you wanted the characters to do, say, because sometimes with like a character, like a person in like the character mascot suit, they're limited to what they can do because obviously the heat and everything like that. It is a person at the end of the day. Or with like an animatronic or like a robot, kind of like that, I feel like you can do a lot more with it, and it'd be a lot more of like an interaction with on like a bigger scale.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, like with the blaster, what we were talking about in VillainCon, like they've actually got a customization for the blaster too on your.
Oh yeah.
You can set in a customization if you don't like the weapon you have. You know what I mean? You can customize it to what you want.
Yeah.
They even have the fart gun on there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool that they've brought that, because it's like I said, I think it's all connected through the app. So obviously, it loads up, it remembers who you are through the app and stuff like that. It brings your customization like straight away, which is it's pretty cool how they do it. To be fair, They do that with so going back to the video that I'm doing. You're getting spoilers for this video, so don't tell nobody, guys.
Okay.
But I was talking about blah, 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 an indoor theme park, and this is this was like where my journey began in the video. A place called Disney Quest, which essentially was like a massive megaplex of arcades and things like that. And in there was parts that you could do, there was two things there was three things where you could create your own things, and you could for the ones that stuck out to me, you could there was one called like Radio Disney Song Maker, where you could make your own like song.
Yeah.
And you could you could have that, and you could buy it. You could have your own song that you made yourself at Disney. There was one called Sid's Creator Toy, I believe, or something along those lines, where you get to create like a toy like Sid would have made in like Toy Story, and you get to like print that out and buy it, like purchase it. And there was another one as well where it was what was it? There was another one. I think it was where you got to create like your own. You did like an I'm trying to think. There was another one, but there was like an animation class as well. You got to like take part in an animation class and things like that. And that customization is just, it's cool to see that it's it's getting bigger and better, because like not a lot of places do that in like theme parks and stuff like that. And it's that creative spark that's like, like it's very, very cool. Yeah, it's very, very cool to have your own little creative twist on it. And
like the web slinger in Disney, California. I mean, they have the same thing with their freaking with their that part where you go through and you have to fight off a bunch of robots that are out of control.
Yeah.
They have it on there where you can customize with your webs, I believe it is.
Yeah. So all those customization options are, it makes it more of a, an interactive experience for the person who's engaging in it and things like that. I personally, I enjoy those type of things. It's like, it makes your day more personal. Like, you get.
That goes back to what you were talking about with like Iron Man. If you wanted to do the Iron Man thing, or you could use Iron Man's weapons, or
exactly. Exactly. It all comes full circle. It's just interesting to see how they implement these things in the parks, and just how well it does, and how they're always improving on it. It's very, very cool to see.
Yeah, I think that when everything I've read there that really sticks out to me would be stuff like the Spider-Man thing with the web slinger, and VillainCon really sticks out to me.
VillainCon looks really, really cool. Like, it's it looks like they're really like sticking that in, and it looks like that's going to be, for those type of attractions at least, I hope that they bring more of those in for like, those kind of interaction things like that. That's very cool.
Because like the Minion Blast and the thing with Spider-Man right there, that right there is what really sticks out, because you can customize the weapons you carry, and like you said, the bracelet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now they got it to where you put the app on your phone. You don't even have to have the bracelet.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just all convenience, isn't it? Like, having it through an app, because, I hate to say, but everyone, more or less, most people are on their phones nowadays through the day. And it got to like, I was speaking to this on another episode of the podcast. Like, it's not out yet, but like when it comes out, the person I was speaking to was saying, if you go to like Disney World specifically, or like a theme park, you are very much expected to use your phone for like your reservations, your mobile orders, your park times, all that kind of stuff. It's very, very heavily rely on your phone. So if there's an app to like help you interact with like the rides and things like that, make it more interactive throughout the day.
Right.
People are going to download it. They're going to use it because they're on the phones anyway. It's just ease of convenience, and it makes it, if it makes your day more fun, then you're going to do it. You're going to do it.
Now, do you think it's going to be accessible outside of Walt Disney World too, though?
Um,
Like after you leave?
I mean, I have the app on my phone. I can check. I can load up the app right now and check the wait times of all the rides in all of the parks, like right now. So
Like on the actual high scores that you did when you go there, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think that would be
If there's
cool.
Yeah, I mean, if there's an option, I don't think there's an option to do it on the Walt Disney World one, but definitely on the Universal one. If you have like your accessibility to check your, your things and stuff like that, I think there'll be an option to do that because like be like, right, what was my last high score? What do I need to do to beat it? What do I need to like get to the next point where that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be accessible for everyone. I think it'll be accessible in and out, and like outside of the parks as well, just for ease as well, to be fair, to like keep up to date with everything and keep track of like, see if you're still like the goat of Minion Blast or whatever else you want to be the goat of.
Yeah. Now, that pretty much is everything that I wanted to go over with. I even covered the questions and stuff, and
Nice.
I checked the chats and stuff, and nobody
Mm.
cares. Nobody cares about us.
That's,
We're just a bunch
that's
of
fine.
we're just a bunch of freaking Disney and Walt Disney World fanatics on here talking
Yeah,
about
that
video games.
that's it. That's the one.
But
Hey, we've had each other's company, and that's all that matters.
I enjoyed this. I liked it. And
Oh, 100%.
we had a video for this the first time, but we ended up ruining it, or I did. That was all my fault. I
No,
recorded my voice, and Karma
Yeah.
and Mark was completely taken off of it.
Oh no.
It was pretty horrible.
No.
Now, before we go, I'd like you to give yourself a plug, okay? Let people know about your sites. Let them know about your stuff like that and where they can contact you and stuff, okay?
Super, thank you. Yeah, so you can check me out on socials. I'm on, what's it called now? X, Twitter, at All Round Zack. I'm on Instagram at Disney Magic Zack, and I am on Threads at Disney Magic Zack as well. I'm on YouTube at Disney Magic Zack. The podcast is there in case you want to go and check that out. We've got some fun topics on there already out, and lots more coming out. I'm in the works of getting some amazing guests on, and having some more fun, history things and things like that coming your way. Entertaining videos, and some of the best videos I've ever made, personally. And yeah, just a fun time over there. Just a fun time. I don't really do socials, but I am on there, so keep your eyes out.
Don't
And
forget
yeah,
your Discord.
oh yeah, my Discord. I never plugged that. I have a server. I will send the link. Let me see if I can find it.
I
Where's my
already
link?
got it.
Oh, you've already got it.
I already
There you
posted
go.
that bad boy.
Ah, he's already on
You
it. He's already on
posted
it.
it on Minds.
Yeah, it's on mine. I posted it on my my live stream.
Oh, cool.
Chat,
Cool.
and I posted it on my profile.
Fab. Thank you. Yeah.
Can
So
you do it because I'll join it because I have this.
nice. Yeah. So Zack Your Boy is my name on Discord, and my server is Disney Magic Zack. Lots of Disney, lots of just Disney talk in there, other talk in general. Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on here, guys. It's been an absolute blast.
Yeah.
The best
We
time.
love to have you. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was pretty
Oh,
good,
good.
interview. So
Good. I'm glad I was entertaining for you, Roger.
I appreciate it.
Not at all a worry. Thank you very much.
And
Yeah, you guys have a great day. Roger, again, as always, it's a pleasure. I'll be around tomorrow then.
Okay.
Video editing tomorrow, right?
Right. I'll
Okay,
talk
at a
to you.
regular time tomorrow.
All right.
All
I will
right, you
talk to you
guys
guys later. Okay. Thank
have
you
a
very
Bye,
great
much,
guys.
Zach.
day.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.